Welcome to In the Gray with Tanae. Join me as I dive deep into tough and relevant topics, sharing my insight backed by both facts and experience. Enjoy. Hi, everyone, and welcome to In the Gray with Tanae. Before we jump in today's episode, I want to take a moment to reintroduce myself, not just to those who already know me, but to those who may not. I've existed in social media space for most of my adult life. People have always asked me, when are you going to start a blog? And then later it was, when are you going to do a podcast? And to be honest, I've been wrestling with this for years. And the truth is, I've always struggled with the question, what the hell do I want to talk about? What kind of voice did I want to have in this space? And what was the purpose of me on this platform? If you follow me, you probably do so for different reasons. I talk about a lot of pop culture, politics, personal stories, advocacy. My content lives on a spectrum, but the one thing that always remains consistent for me is community. I care deeply about people, about our stories, about our healing, about growth, and I wanted a space where I could be all of me, funny and serious, passionate and reflective, informative and messy. And that's what In the Gray is about, because life is rarely black and white. Now, I'm in my 40s, and I'll actually be 42 in July, and I have a 20-year-old child. I've lived enough life to understand that growth changes your perspective. In my 20s, everything was right or wrong, black or white. I had clear lines I didn't cross, but life humbled me. Experience softened those edges, and now I see the value in the gray. Those complicated, nuanced middle spaces where real understanding happens. That's what this podcast is for. It's a whole space for complexity, to explore how life, love, grief, and joy and accountability intersect. So today's episode, we are going to talk about Iran. And I thought this first full episode would be about something lighter, maybe pop culture, something funny or a little reflective, but that's not where we are today. Today's episode is going to be about Iran because that's what's happening right now, and it's too important to ignore. We're talking about nuclear weapons, global tension, military strikes, and it's easy to think that it has nothing to do with us, but it does. Gas prices, foreign policy, war, elections, leadership, all of those things connect. And in my opinion, there are just too many of us that are reacting off of TikToks and sound bites, conspiracy videos, or just vibes. And I honestly, truly say this with love, but also with urgency. We need to be informed. We need to be grounded, and we need to know what is happening, why it's happening, and how we are impacted. So if you are here, thank you. You could be anywhere, but you're choosing to lean into the gray with me. And I truly appreciate you for that. So right now, I think, I want to give a little bit of context, just explain what's going on. So Israel launched a military strike on Iranian nuclear sites. The U.S., we didn't directly bomb anyone, but let's not play dumb. We are in the room. We fund Israel. We give them weapons, intelligence, defense support. So when they strike, we're involved, even if it's through the back door. Iran, in response, made it clear that they're not standing down. They've restarted part of their nuclear program, and they're threatening retaliation. And that could look like anything. It could be missile strikes, proxy attacks, shutting down oil shipping lanes, or cyber warfare. Things are escalating, and the people that should be calming it down, they're not stepping it up. And that's people like y'all's president. So I think another important piece in having conversations about Iran, it's okay in this space to not know, but we're in a space now that we are adults. We have a responsibility to know what's going on. And it's important to know historical context and why all of these things matters. So I'm going to take a minute to go through some history and explain the conflict and how we got here. So in 1953, the U.S. and Britain overthrew Iran's democratically elected leader. And that's because they wanted to nationalize oil, and that threatened Western profits. So we helped install a dictator, the Shah, who stayed in power with brutal attacks with the U.S. support. That's why they hate us. So we need to know that. That's important. And fast forward then to 1979. The Iranian people were tired. They had enough. They overthrew the Shah and replaced him with a strict Islamic government. That one is still in power today. And since then, it's been bad blood between Iran and the U.S. So this isn't something that just happened. This goes back all the way to 1953, us getting involved in their business. And that's why we are in this mess today. That's important. So now you got a layer in Israel. Iran doesn't recognize Israel. Israel sees Iran as a threat, especially because Iran funds groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. So Israel regularly tries to sabotage Iran's weapons and military infrastructure. And here's the thing about that: the U.S. funds Israel's efforts. So that's not a conspiracy. That's not something people are making up. That's actually public record. So I hope that gives a little bit of context into the history between the US, Israel, and Iran, and what's going on and where and when this conflict started between us, at least our role in it. So the way that we are affected by it, this isn't about just the Middle East. This touches every single one of us. Like our gas prices. Iran has the power in the global game, oil game. Like if they shut down key shipping routes like the Strait of Hormuz, prices in the pump are going to skyrocket. Like we're already paying ridiculous gas prices. We have been for some time now, but it's going to get worse and we're going to feel it. And then we've got our troops. We've got military bases and personnel all over the region. And if this turns into direct conflict, that means that those lives are on the line. So that matters. Like that matters for our children that are serving in the military, our friends, our family. Like think about them. It may not affect you, but think about how it affects your neighbors and your friends and your family. Like all of that matters. Then we also have Iran has a history of cyber attacks and cyber warfare. If things escalate, they're going to come for our infrastructure, our power grids, our financial systems, our hospitals. Think about our power grid, how we get power, our hospitals. Like they have the power to attack us, engage in cyber warfare. That's nothing to play with. So it's important that we understand the threats, like the shit that could happen, the shit that like this could happen. And then there's also global instability. This isn't just about one country versus another. If this turns into a larger war, the entire global economy is going to feel it. And marginalized communities, they're going to always be hit first. So people that are already suffering are going to suffer more. And that's not right and it's not okay. And if something that can be done to prevent it, it should be done. Now, here's the thing. I don't like Trump at all. I don't like anything about him. I don't like anything he stands for. I don't like anything about this administration. I think he's a joke. However, this didn't start with Trump, but he escalated. He is not who we need to be leading us in this time. Now, in 2015, under Obama, the U.S. entered into the Iran nuclear deal. It wasn't perfect at the time, but it worked. Iran reduced its nuclear stockpile and opened up for inspections. Then y'all's president came in, Trump. He came in and he scrapped the entire thing in 2018 and he reimposed sanctions and basically dared Iran to act out like he does. And of course, he dared them. And when somebody dares, when you poke a bear, what do? So they did. So when you cut off diplomacy and you add pressure, things explode. Like when you poke a bear, it's going to erupt. So in 2020, Trump ordered the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. That was a massive escalation. It didn't start a war, but it brought us right to the verge, right to the edge. So now we're here dealing with the fallout of ego-driven decisions with no real plan for peace. So I hope I'm doing a good job explaining this to you guys. So right now, what we should watch for and what we should look out for next is spike in oil and gas prices. Like it's a real sign of tension. So when you see gas prices go up, that's a real indicator that something's going on. Then you need to look for troop movements. If we start deploying more people to a region, to that particular region, understand that's not a drill. This isn't a rehearsal. And then also things like election talking points, how candidates handle this matter, like diplomacy versus warmongering. You need to be listening. We need to be listening to these people. Like this is important. And then the media manipulation. I already fully believe that this administration is controlling what the media is pushing out to us. So everything that we think we know, there's layers to it that we're not getting. So the media manipulation, who's framing Iran as the only villain without giving any context. Again, that goes back to the history. Like that's why that piece is important. So I think what I'm saying to you guys is wars do not just start with bombs. They start with bad decisions, unchecked power and misinformation, and then silence, which is complicity. While we can't fix everything, we can be informed. We can challenge narratives and we can hold leadership accountable. So don't wait for this to affect your wallet or your family to start caring about this. Like, we need to be a part of the conversation now. We need to know what's going on, and we need to be talking from a substantive place. Like, we need to talk from an informed place when you have these conversations. Like, don't just get your information from people on TikTok and just 10 hats that don't know what they're talking about. Like, being informed matters. So let's, so this is how I'm reintroducing myself, not with gossip, not with fluff, but with truth, complexity, and care. This space is up for us, and it's in the gray. So you can follow me on Instagram at Tanae the Truth, Facebook, Tanae Parker. And thank you for listening, and I will talk with you guys soon. Thank you for listening to In the Gray with Tanae. Follow me for the latest discussions and past episodes.